All right, Gemma, talk to us about... in fact, let me talk to you about the NHS in the UK, because they are telling hospital staff that they need to choose their own pronouns and make them plain, both to their colleagues and to patients. In fact, the NHS have suggested a handy list of pronouns that hospital staff could use. You can call yourself I, me, they, them, ze, zer. I'm not sure how to pronounce this next one, Gemma. Is it Xi, Gem? And you can even refer to yourself as it.
Is it Xi Jinping? Is it?
I suppose. You can even refer to yourself as it or its, and they've advised hospital staff to apologise if they wrongly label somebody, or if they hear someone using wrong pronouns, to call them out. And then they had this little handy bit of advice for those who are sceptical of all this pronoun stuff. They actually told staff, if you don't think this is important, that's all the more reason for you to give attention to these things, because it obviously represents a deficit in your understanding. Now, this advice was given in February last year, before the UK Supreme Court ruled that a woman is defined according to biology. But the NHS appeared to be ignoring the court ruling and persisting with promoting gender ideology within the hospital system. Now, this comes at the same time that we learn tens of thousands of hip and knee replacements have been indefinitely postponed in the UK because they've got an issue with the cement that they use for these operations. But it's pretty easy for people to look at what's happening in the hospital system there and say, you can't get the operation you need, but, gee, they're big on making sure that the correct pronouns are being used everywhere.
It sounds like something you'd hear out of Victoria, doesn't it? Remember when Daniel Andrews said they'd have 4,000 ICU beds during COVID, and then, they never turned up, and then when he was questioned about it, he said, I never said that, I didn't mean we'd get that. You see this in the corporate world now, and you get an email all the time. I get emails from PR people and whatever.
God, those PR people are
I know,
awful.
Terrible, awful people, aren't they? And it says at the bottom, Joe Blogs or Gemma Tognini, she, her, or maybe you'd have...
I do not have those.
Gigère or something.
I have Her Royal Highness.
Well, that's yes. Mine are judge, jury and executioner. But they've got their bloody pronouns there, as if it wasn't evident from the fact that the name was like Gemma Tognini. You could probably tell it. Now, you want to do it in the corporate world, go for your life. I think it's stupid. But it's really concerning when it happens in the medical world.
Yeah.
Because the medical world, in many cases, is full of absolutes. You have cancer or you don't. We've got to find a way to fix a medical problem. And so you would like to think that when you are dealing with doctors and nurses, that they look at things through a logical and methodical lens where they go, here is something that is an absolute, and we've got to get to another absolute, which is we remove a problem. So if you've got people who are dealing in science are now effectively dealing in pseudoscience and saying that, in fact, there are no established rules in biology whatsoever and that you can make up anything you want, are they the sort of people you want treating you?
I've got to tell you, Jim, before you go, this isn't just in the UK. I recently had to get some scans at a radiologist or whatever they call it here in Sydney. And before they put me in for the scan, straight-faced, the gentleman asked, is there any chance you could be pregnant? And I laughed and I said...
Did you have a big meal or something?
I said, you're kidding me, aren't you? He says, I'm so sorry, sir, we have to ask.
Wow.
So
He called you sir, though. How did he know? How did he know?
Well, he was assuming, and I was quite offended by that.
I mean, you said I'm in my mid-50s, I'm menopausal.
Oh, my God. Good answer. And well done, Caleb, for saying the M word. Well done.
Yeah, that's all right. So we can turn on television. It's after the watershed.
It's exactly. I mean, it's the bracket creep, isn't it? It's like, where does it stop? To your point about biology. So doctor friends of mine say things like the way they treat certain cancers, and I'm not talking about things like cervical cancer or testicular cancer, but cancer broadly, can be treated differently whether you're a man or a woman, because your body responds differently because of that amazing thing called DNA. So you sort of wonder where the line creeps and creeps and creeps. It starts with that sort of situation. And then it's like, well, are you pregnant, James? It's bizarre.
Well, the reason that question has become important is because a woman identifying as a man overseas had an operation and lost a baby, having failed to declare that they were pregnant, and hospital staff not daring to ask because this person identified as a man, therefore they could not ask.
Whereas my response
and there was
is
a tragedy,
it would be the Immaculate Conception and we'd all be preparing for the second coming of Christ. 52, I'm not pregnant, people. It's not happening.